What's up, TRC fans? We've partnered with Insta360 for the worldwide release of the X3. With 360 capture, action-ready hardware, and AI-powered software, the X3 is the next gen of the world's best-selling action camera. We hope you enjoy the video. Danny, what's up, my man?
What's up, dude?
Thanks for having us back.
Absolutely, man. Welcome to RMCMIAMI again. Boxes are us, and we got a couple special toys for you today.
Oh, we're here for a very special car today. Yeah. I've been itching to come back.
Yeah, man.
When you told me a top secret car was here, because we have our history of filming the top secret cars.
Yes, sir.
Damn, she looks good in person.
Yeah,
I couldn't be more excited, man.
Yeah, hopefully this one will get to actually show you what it's about. Yeah, dude, we have a nice little soup here.
Here she is.
Yeah.
Many people will know this car. This car has a lot of history.
Yeah, man, this car has been shipped to a couple of places in the world by the world-class criminal himself, Smokey Nagata. Very controversial car because he took, like what you said, the most, arguably the best motor out and put the better motor in it.
Oh, that should stir up the comments. Oh boy. Oh boy, I don't know how I feel about this.
The turbo's on the wrong side.
I don't know how I feel about this. I'm so excited yet so confused at the same time.
Man. I mean, you're an RB lover, I'm
an RB lover and I'm a 2J lover.
I know you like them both, man. But I think my heart's with RB forever. So I love soups, but I think that this is. This motor does it for me, It's not your 1,500 horsepower, drag racing build. It's a little bit different, Being RB26 is more of a race-inspired motor, individual throttle body, smaller displacement, higher RPM. I think that the power band's a little more linear. And it's more controllable for racing in different settings, They race rain, night, day, it doesn't matter. So this car, this one right here, has been shipped to New Zealand, where he was also arrested in this car.
아, 그랬었다. 아이, 수고하지.
And he achieved 197 miles an hour in the rain, on the street.
In the rain. Yeah. That's ballsy.
Yeah, bro.
That's wild.
It was spinning to like 4th or 5th gear. Which nowadays is nothing, but with 650 horsepower, he
was using every bit of that car.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You got to stay in it like that. It's a whole different ball game. I already know people are gonna be going nuts. I know people aren't gonna love this, but
I mean, let's just say it how it is.
Yeah, man.
RBs sound damn good.
Yeah, man. It is
RBs
what it is,
sound
bro.
damn good. There's probably, I mean, in my opinion, this engine right here is one of the best sounding engines when you really rev them out and they're making any sort of decent power.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a race motor, Like a 2J is good for big power, rev limiter, banging, and doing all the hooning. And not to say they didn't street race with that motor, highway style, not 60 to 130. Trying to leave a motor at 180 miles an hour for 30 minutes, takes a different type of tuning. And for some reason, the Skyline O was always the king. Obviously being all-wheel drive, but also because of the motor. Obviously Smokey wasn't, just like us, he was unique. And that's, it's an extension of him. Yeah. Building these cars, always swapping these crazy engines and making them work,
That's what I love about this car, man. It's unique. I mean, look at this. This is the first time I've personally seen an RB in a Supra.
Yeah.
And it tickles me a certain way. In a good way, man, in a good way.
It's not like your typical swap here. The swaps there aren't just like throw a motor in and call it a day. And everything there is balanced, so they had to make this car work as if it was factory. AC, power steering. The car has to literally act like if it was born like this. The plan with the car was to cover 100,000 kilometers, of running, of being a warrior. Yeah. This thing's a warrior. This has been to war, who knows how many cars this car has chased down, on a highway, long distance, not just
That gives me
third,
goosebumps.
fourth,
That
and
gives me
fifth.
goosebumps, man.
Yeah, bro.
Just thinking about it.
He was the outlaw for sure of Japan, you know, and that's what we like. I mean, who doesn't like that? Who doesn't like somebody that's different? You know, everybody wants to be that person, you know. Nobody does it, but you know, it's who everybody aspires to be. You know, there's nobody that doesn't know who Smokey Nagata is if you like Japanese cars. Sure. You know, so being what it is, you know, it covered 100,000 miles of racing, not on a road, you know, like I said, not on a circuit, but on the street, you know. But the motor was rebuilt at Top Secret 2 years ago. So engine was completely overhauled, you know, new clutch, new turbo, and the car's just always been maintained. It's always been privately owned. It was actually owned by a super large Supra dealer in Japan. So this guy mainly sold Supras, which all had 2Js. And this is, being a Supra owner, this is what he owned. So imagine you have 50 Supras, but your personal car has an RB26 in it. That's precision tuning. It's not crazy loud, you know?
Sounds so good.
They like gate. They just want to hear gate. They don't care about making too much noise. You know, this with a gate wailing at 180 miles an hour is probably the rowdiest you've ever heard, you know?
All right, guys, so we're about to roll out with the Supra here, and I couldn't be more stoked. We were one of the first creators to get our hands on the new Insta360 X3. This is their next generation 360 camera releasing today worldwide. So we're one of the first few creators that actually gets to test this, and the camera is sick. It has a new 2.9-inch screen. It has an upgraded 1/2-inch sensor to take even better video. And it also has insane AI-powered software. We're gonna be testing it for the first time today and get some really sick shots for you guys. And if you guys wanna scoop one up for yourself, this camera came out today. Make sure to check the link in the description below and you can get your own. Setting up the angle is super easy. Secure the camera and selfie stick to the mount, extend the selfie stick, 360 reframing lets you shoot first and reframe later, then the AI software will automatically crop out the stick. Guys, so we're going for the first spin in the Top Secret Supra.
Yes, sir. RB26 powered.
RB26. Ready to do this, my man?
Yeah, man. Let's see how this thing goes. It should move out pretty nice. Not a 1,500 horsepower Supra, but it should make some nice noises and feel different, I think.
Oh yeah, unique for sure. So we're gonna cruise around a little bit, let her warm up, make some cool sounds, hit a couple cool photo spots, have some fun.
Yeah, we gotta wait for like oil temps to get to like 80 and like hold that consistently for a little bit. And being the first time that we actually like take it further than around the block, I just want to make sure that, you know, we've done all the maintenance to the car, just make sure everything is still, you know, good. Watch the oil pressure, watch everything. Even though the engine was just rebuilt by Top Secret, so, but just, you know, this isn't the type of car you just go out and try and break, you know. Third and fourth is actually a closer ratio. So the V160 is it's re-geared. I'm not sure exactly of the settings, but the car stays in the higher RPM. So it's more of a close ratio box than factory. It's got third and fifths are steel. And then an aggressive two-way, just like all these cars. They like to push a lot when accelerating. And yeah, man, I mean, it's a good chassis with a better motor. People are gonna hate that shit. It's crazy, but the factory race Supra for JGTC, Japanese Grand Touring Championship, GT 500 class, the Supra that ran that class didn't have a 2J in it.
No way.
It had a 3S GT, so it was a 4-cylinder Supra.
Wow.
Because of the weight distribution. Not that this motor is lighter, but being that it's not as much of a linear motor and a torquey motor, they decided to go with a 3S GT.
That's not as much sacrilege as putting an RB in a Supra.
No, like that. they even made a couple. Well, the Top Secret made one too.
Oh, yeah.
Top Secret's got. There's a guy up north. I think he's in Philly that has the 3S GT street car that raced in New Zealand as well. Basically, this guy put every fucking motor under the sun inside a Supra except for a 2J. But it's cool, man. It's unique, and it's crazy that it drives like it was born like this, you know?
So while we're cruising, let's try out the active HDR feature on the Insta360. This helps to keep all the details clear, and the colors pop really nicely as well.
That's the first real pull, other than like a second and quick third.
Guys, this car just feels right. It's so crazy to hear that RB26 scream coming out of a Supra. I mean, it feels sorted.
Another machine. It's ready for whatever, dude. Ready for whatever. That's what's cool. Most of the demo cars, this being privately owned, most of the other demo cars, they got used as intended, you know. Not that this didn't, but this wasn't driven by Smokey for 10 years, you know, and literally aggressively raced. You know, it was raced, but not to that level, so it's not falling apart. The demo cars, they kind of get beat up and they sell them. Yeah. You know, this car continued to get maintained and changed and overhaul the motor, change the turbo setup, you know, do a different body kit, just like
progressed over the
years. Progressed over the years, you know. That's a motherfucking race motor right there.
Wow.
That's a race motor.
You hear that thing?
That's a race motor.
Dude.
That ain't no 2J, baby.
You hear that thing?
That is high strung.
Oh my God. Alright guys, so we're testing out, putting it on the front of the car to get a really aggressive shot of the Supra coming at us, or coming at you. Let's see how that looks. Alright guys, we're about to ride out to a couple more film spots, and we're going to test out the multi-view so it shoots straight and into the cabin as well. And you can get a bunch of different settings here in the app. Loop recording actually works awesome for like dash cam stuff. Got time shift, a lot of really cool stuff you can do in the app here. The new Insta360 Sky Swap feature utilizes AI to change the sky in the background for some seriously amazing shots.
it's planted. It's super planted. I don't know, what do you think?
You just got this car, and you just got a TRC approved stamp for
like that.
That's the. So I think this is the third top secret Smokey Nagata car that I've been in. So I was in the gold V12 car, the white Supra with a 2J, with the 2J stroker,
Right.
and now this one with the RB26.
Does this one feel faster than the 2J and the V12?
Well, this one by far, you're giving us the full experience of this car. The full experience.
I mean, that's what it's built for. It's not built to, you know, obviously take it to shows and, you know, make it pretty and stuff, but
Yeah.
ideally it's built to be driven, not to be parked.
Yeah.
You know? And I
My
think
man, dude, thank you so much.
Yeah, bro.
That was a hell of an experience. Hearing this thing scream in that tunnel, bro.
Dude, it resonates.
I felt
so
like I
much.
was in Japan on the Wangan, doing our thing with Smokey.
That would be what a pimp, you know?
What a pimp.
His lady friend manages the turbo boost from the passenger seat. What a pimp.
Guys, that was a hell of an experience.
Yeah, bro, this is crazy. Like driving a car that's legendary for me at least, you know, like growing up, I always liked the RB cars. The gold car was the #1 for a lot of people, but I always liked this car more. And like, I literally dreamt of this car, bro. Like, manifesting sounds crazy, but like, like this was the only car I ever cared about. When I had the experience to buy this, like I couldn't say no. And the fact that we could just get in it and duplicate what it did, you know, like a lot of these cars aren't in this shape anymore. They got really beat up, and you can't just go out for a rip like that. They usually need full overhauls. The suspension's gone, brakes are gone, motors hurt, turbos are hurt, because they've got 100,000 miles of beating the out of them.
Beating the crap out of them.
Bro, this car was well kept, you know, and like you still get to experience somewhat, you know, like 5% of what this car went through.
And at least for me, it's definitely, when it comes to TRC, it's definitely a special moment for us, because I've been watching this car since I was a kid, you know, like, I mean, we've all seen the videos. This is like a bucket list thing, man.
This is bucket list. 100%. This is bucket list. Like, it's, for me, it's surreal.
That's what these things are about,
yeah,
man.
Absolutely. That's
Smile machines.
Yes, a smile machine. Yes, sir.
This whole experience right here gets a massive TRC approved stamp. JDM Smokey Nagata edition.
Actually, though. Like, actually doing it? Yeah.
Let's walk around here and just, I guess, maybe talk a little bit about the body on it.
So the car being privately owned, obviously it wasn't like a demo car for, you know, forever. Ridox was like a very famous kit for everything. Max Arito this was his body kit. Being a professional, you know, Super GT, JGTC driver, you know, he also did a lot of street racing. And a lot of cars that did street racing in that era had this body kit. So the car, you know, being privately owned, it evolved. You know, it had a couple of things change, but nothing major other than the body kit. The car's still in its original glitter white, pearl, whichever you want to call it. You know, all the aero is still there, the original stack, tranny, motor, everything. You know, the whole entire chassis spot welded, big brake kit. The gas tank is wrapped in header wrap so it doesn't get any heat from the exhaust, so that the fuel stays as cold as possible. You know, like just stupid little things that you only feel at when you're racing for such a long distance. And being who that person is, Smokey, you know, he obviously knows what works, what doesn't. You know, you're not gonna tell that guy he doesn't know what he's doing, you know? Sure. He's been doing this for his entire life, so.
The way, I mean, the common theme I've seen when I've seen any of the top secret cars, most of the things that they do have a purpose, right? So, I mean, you look at the big wing, and there's a lot of people that do that stuff just for show. But I mean, he was doing top speed runs in this thing, so that type of downforce and stuff is necessary, you know?
I mean, I think it's super necessary in one of these cars. I've had a pretty crazy experience in one of these cars without a wing. They're pretty front heavy. You know, these cars aren't like perfect 50-50 weight distribution. They're not all-wheel drive. I think that the car feels much lighter on the rear, especially going over bumps, you know, or just trying to make the car grip. You know, I think the GT wing is super necessary when you're not drag racing. You know, obviously for drag racing, you're just creating downforce for no reason. But when you're attacking, I think it's super important. I mean, any of these cars, you know, none of GT wing, GT wing, GT wing, GT wing, you know, they're there for a reason and to look cool. I mean, you know, you gotta look cool too. You know, you don't want your car to look like a piece of shit, but yeah, man, it's got the original GTCs on it, which I think these wheels are gonna make a huge comeback. You know, they've been kind of like in the shadows, but I think that they're one of the flossiest wheels. I like them a lot, obviously. Everything in the interior is original. So yeah,
Interior is super clean in this car, man.
Yeah.
I say that every time we open an interior, we look at the interior on one of these cars here, I'm always like, it's mint.
I mean, thank you, bro. I appreciate
There's
that.
a common theme with the cars you bring here, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, again, I'm not trying to find, you know, just your run-of-the-mill entry-level cars. Like these are special cars, all of them. You know, at different levels. Obviously, this I would say is probably one of the specialist cars that we've owned. This is a cockpit. Like, there's nothing about this car that doesn't feel or sound or look like you're not driving a Japanese spaceship. Insert your credit card. Yeah.
The Japanese toll booth lady?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, man. ETC. Yeah, I mean, the dash is, you know, the car's not like crazy modified. It's still got to be comfortable. It has AC. You know, it's got a radio. It's got a sound system. Like, it's a touring car. You know, they drive this car. This wasn't like gut it out and make it as fast as possible. You know, this was just make it comfortable, make it fast, make it unique. And I think that's his idea with most of his cars. Even it has on this side, it's got a silencer for the exhaust, which is pretty cool. You could close a flap so that you don't disturb your neighbors if you're coming home at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like literally on a handle pulls this, and your exhaust goes almost silent. So you know you're thinking of the people around you. You know, you're not disturbing them. I wouldn't care about that. Sorry, but somebody did. But yeah, man. I mean, just little cool tidbits. The top secret personal wheel. Like, this isn't stuff that you could just go and buy. So we'll put it on the
Top secret steering wheel. Gotta love that shift knob. This is such an awesome, just like period correct build. You know?
Man. I mean, that's
like this is
what it's all about.
This is as good as it gets right here.
I mean, more than likely, nobody's gonna go and get in this car and go do 220 miles an hour anymore, you know. But it's kind of just the nostalgia of owning a car like this and feeling it, you know, opening it up every once in a while. I think is cool.
It's got that grunt.
That little
RB grunt, man. And the motor sounds super healthy.
It's the motors. I mean, like I said, it was just rebuilt, you know, and they didn't rebuild it because it blew up. They just refresh it, you know, before anything does happen. So yeah, we just got the car, so we're waiting for the dry cell battery to come in. So we had a little jumper on it and stuff. We literally just got it washed so that you could shoot it. You can see all the spot welding in the trunk. You know, the car's been built chassis up. That's why, you know, everything is painted a different color in the interior, just like the RX-7. We're waiting for the top secret ornament on the valve covers. We just had them redone. They just look, they get scratches and shit. I just want the car to look. Of course, yeah.
So you still got to put your little touches on it.
Yeah, 100%. But this is, you know, I mean, I haven't really done. This is oil change, paint the valve covers, put a battery in it, and you know, these cars are ready for, you know, for the next stage in their life. You know, hopefully somebody does buy it and go do 200 miles an hour in it. You know, that'd be lovely. Maybe you can go get a video of that.
And I love the wide body. It's so cool on these top secret builds, man. I really enjoy seeing all sorts of different builds coming out from Smokey and the top secret crew, because they're all unique. I love it.
They all have so much character, and they all have so many custom little changes and tidbits. And this car, he had the gold RB car, which was the famous car. I like that car, but that car ran at Yatabe and it did 200 plus. He ended up selling the car to UAE. Now the car is at an undisclosed location somewhere. But I always liked this car more just because it was prettier, it was more of a street car. I liked the livery that it had, which we're gonna be doing a livery kind of similar to what it had. I always thought that this car looked more menacing for some reason, I know the gold cars are like, those are the top secret cars, but this is the real street top secret car. Like, this is the shit that they actually drove. Those cars didn't get driven. Those cars got parked. They did a couple of hits and they parked them. This thing was contained.
Say, like, body wise, look wise, this is probably my favorite as well.
Yeah, bro, for sure. I mean, I think that this car has the whole package, and it's a dream to own this car. Like, I'm very torn about selling the car. I don't know what I'm doing with it, to be honest with you. It's almost like it's unreal to have this car. The V12 car is also sick, you know, but it's kind of too much. And it would take a lot to get that car like 100% today, you know, which is sick. That car is more than likely going to go into a collection and never be driven again. Like, you can daily drive this thing in a top secret RB swapped, you know, Supra, and literally have the coolest anywhere you go.
I mean, honestly, there's not many of these RB swap Supras in the world.
No, I have another one, but
you've been holding out on me.
I have one that I could afford.
Stash?
Yeah, I have an RB swapped JZ80.
Not top secret.
Not a top secret. Definitely inspired by this build though. Also 6-speed and all that stuff, but this is top dog for me.
It's not another Supra.
Not another Supra.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's a wrap for today's shoot. We had a freaking blast with the top secret Supra. Guys, don't forget to check out the link in the description for the new Insta360 X3 camera. It released today. Go check it out. We'll see you next time.